Hey guys, Cameron here. Now, have you ever wondered, why does junk food taste so much better than healthy food? Why are we compelled to eat something that's so bad for us? Well, the answer lies in our psychology. You see, we're pleasure-seeking creatures and we get wrapped up in something called the pleasure trap. The pleasure trap is a concept put forward by Dr. Douglas Lisle, and it explains the phases we go through that essentially desensitizes us to healthy food and makes it taste really, really bad, and how we get addicted to junk food in the first place. We all start in phase 1, that is, when we eat foods naturally occurring in the environment, we have a regular dopamine response. But the problem now is we have access to a lot of foods that don't naturally occur in the environment. They're very calorie dense and they're packed with things we love to eat. So when we eat junk foods like a chocolate bar, that dopamine response is heightened, we're extra sensitive to it, and that releases a much bigger hit of dopamine and tells us that we're in a much greater state of pleasure. Our body then compels us to eat these foods more regularly because it believes that anything that gives us that heightened level of response is much better, and our body then starts to crave it. Yes, that does come with health risks, but why can't we just eat these foods for the rest of our lives? Yes, our lives might be shorter, but we get so much more pleasure. Wouldn't you rather have a life packed with pleasure than a life with less of it? Well, you see, we enter into phase 3. That is that this response now becomes normalized. That is our new normal. It's lowered. This is called habituation. Habituation, for example, is like walking into a restaurant and you can smell all the food and you can hear all the noises. Yet 10 to 15 minutes in, you become habituated. You don't notice it anymore. So now we only get a regular response. We end up getting the same amount of pleasure that we were getting in the first place, but we're eating foods that are much worse for us. And here's where the worst part of the trap occurs. When you go back to trying to eat those healthy foods, you get a lessened response. It's weaker. So they taste pretty bad, they're pretty bland, and they're a bit of a chore to eat. So as a response, we eat less of them, we cut them down in our diet, and we start eating more and more junk food. But now our response is so low when we eat healthy foods, it's so hard to stick with them long enough to go back into phase 5 where that becomes normalized again. So most people fall off the bandwagon pretty quickly, and even though they try to make a health change, they just can't compel themselves to eat all this food that they just find boring. In fact, it can take several weeks just for those levels to approach back to normal. So it's a bit of a hard journey. But I want to know, are you stuck in a pleasure trap, or have you ever been stuck in that pleasure trap? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's content, feel free to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this. And thank you for watching.